When it comes to the elite NBA players, the bona fide superstars, there's always media darlings. Players will give a pass to, cut them some slack, and actually boost up when they don't deserve it. Now, unfortunately for Nikola Jokic, despite being the best player in the world, he's not one of the media darlings.
SA, what do you think? Should Jokic have won his third most valuable player award?
No. My vote went to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who I think should have been the worthy recipient.
I don't like to rain on people's parade, but I'm not happy with this one. I felt Shai Alexander deserved it.
And I do find it quite fascinating how a guy 1 year can win the championship, be a 2-time MVP, and then goes down 0-2 in the playoffs, and his entire basketball legacy is somehow in question. And for the media, they've been waiting and just waiting in the grass to attack Jokic when he fails. As last year, when a guy averages 30, 14, and 10, wins the championship, I mean, what can you do? You gotta shut up, go in the corner, and take it on the chin. That's all you can do. But this year, when he's down 0-2 versus Minnesota, the narratives come flooding back. Well, you know, he's overrated, playing in a weak center era. He never really was that good, and Denver's overall team, they never beat any other good teams. Those are the narratives Minnesota was up 2-0. And from the T-Wolves' perspective, they were calling this team defensively the 0-4 Pistons, the bad boy Pistons, when they were up 2-0.
But that defense, that swarming Minnesota defense without Rudy Gobert, is, I think, the greatest defensive effort performance I've seen against a legit team.
So if I'm doing a pyramid, 0-4 Pistons top, the next spot would be the 89 Pistons and the 91 Bulls. So I would put the 24 T-Wolves pretty close to that third tier at this point.
Now that right there is the narrative of Minnesota, up 2-0. But now all of a sudden Denver storms back, it's tied 2-2. What's the narrative now? Well, Gobert, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, not really that great, overrated, he's a bum. Karl Towns defensively, he stinks. You know, Minnesota's team defensively, a tad bit overrated. The media quite literally has moved the goalpost in a matter of 72 hours. And when it comes to Rudy Gobert, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, but he's playing Nikola Jokic. Jokic versus any great defensive big man, this is what he does. Anthony Davis did it to him twice. Bam in the finals, same story. Whoever the Suns had got abused. Draymond Green, Gobert, Towns, it doesn't matter. Jokic is so great to the great offensive player. This is what he does to great defensive players.
Shoot it, fat boy!
And as someone who watches a lot of Denver games, Jokic most times comes out, kind of feels out the game. They'll score here and there. He'll wait to the fourth quarter to really take over. But in Game 4 versus Minnesota, just from the jump, looking for a shot, highly aggressive, and really dialed it up to a 10. If you ask me why Jokic was so aggressive, not only being down 2-1, but also the comments from Shaq 24 hours earlier. As when you get told to your face, you weren't the rightful MVP. I mean, that's gotta piss someone off, even someone like Jokic, who's kind of stone-faced and emotionless. In the fourth quarter of this game, Jamal Murray on the bench, Denver kind of reeling. What did Jokic do? 16 points, 60% shooting, played the entire fourth quarter, and finished the game with 35 points. And looking back at the NBA media, these people are just so predictable. As if a team goes up 1-0, I mean, they're destined to win the championship, make the finals. They're this all-time great team. The next game, it gets tied 1-1. Somehow that team's in question. Were they really that good, that great? The overreactions on both sides, it'll make your head spin. And looking at the Jokic narrative, the Denver Nuggets narratives, when they were down 0-2, one narrative I saw across all social media, especially on sports media, was that Denver's overall team really was never that great, and the competition was weak. And the go-to narrative, the go-to bullet point, well, Denver never beat a 50-win team in the postseason. And this right here, it's a devious lie because a lot of context is missing. So first off, out of the last 5 years, 2 of them have been shortened seasons. And looking at 2020, the bubble season, the Utah Jazz that year had a win percentage of 61.1%. That overall win percentage for an 82-game season is 51 wins. And the Joker versus that Jazz team came back from down 3-1 and in Game 7 scored 30 of his team's 80 points with a game-winning hook shot. The very next round versus the Clippers, who by some were dubbed the championship favorites, the best team in the world. That Clippers team, the healthy PG and Kawhi, had a win percentage of 68%, which is on pace for 57 wins in an 82-game season. And just like versus Utah, Denver in this series came back from down 3-1. To say the Nuggets never beat a 50-win team is just very misleading and kind of a slimy tactic that lacks tons of context. And even looking at last year's playoff run, a year removed from it, what are they already saying when Minnesota's up 2-0? Well, Denver in that run, they beat a 7th seed and 8th seed, teams that really weren't that great. But here's the thing, Denver all year long, I documented on my page. They were doubted, they were written off, and I was told explicitly, Nikola Jokic as the guy would never win a championship. And looking at the second round versus Phoenix, according to the actual odds makers, the Suns in this series were favored. And looking at their record, they won 45 games. But what happened post All-Star break? They added Kevin Durant, at worst a top 10 player. And according to the ESPN experts, Phoenix in this series was favored heavily. Even looking at the West Finals versus the Lakers, that team heading to the playoffs had gone 14-6, in the first round mopped the Grizzlies, in the second round beat the defending NBA champions. Going into the Lakers-Nuggets West Finals, what was the narrative?
The league that messed up by giving the Lakers an opportunity to be able to compete for a championship. And when I look at the Western Conference, I'm looking at the Lakers right now, and I actually had them picked to win in the West.
Everybody knows I'm going to have the Lakers for the series because when the playoffs started, the Lakers win the title. Everybody knows Jokic and AD, that matchup is going to likely be the deciding matchup ostensibly in the series.
Jokic has to put it up. Falling away, puts it up. Bang! Nikola Jokic!
And once again, looking back at Nikola Jokic, the individual, when his team was down 2-0, the hate, the narratives, they just came rushing all back. I was like in a time loop. Is this 2021, 2022? Because the takes I saw from the media, the exact same thing I saw from those seasons. And I think a lot of the Jokic slander, him being down 0-2, was also compounded with him winning his third MVP in 4 seasons. And for the last time, the MVP is a regular season award. If the Joker got swept 4-0 in the playoffs, it wouldn't matter. He was still the MVP. But the NBA media just so anti-Jokic. After him being down 0-2, what did the narrative shift to? Well, the Joker, undeserving, and SGA, he was robbed. If anyone at ESPN is watching this, let me just give you guys a warning. If a team goes down 2-0 and you think they're cooked, they're done, they're going to get swept or embarrassed, just kind of keep that to yourself until the team actually gets swept or loses. As when it comes to Joker and this Nuggets team, for the past year plus at every turn, they've proven you wrong. And for someone like Stephen A. Smith, who said it's a sweep, it's over, it's done with, Denver's cooked. After Game 3, this dude, who has really no shame, was under his desk hiding after a Denver victory.
And you may be wondering, where in the world
What's up?
is Stephen A. Smith?
Just stay down there. Just stay. You lost his privilege, Malika.
If you're so bold, so brash, when your team's up 2-0, have some manhood and stand there and take it when the series is tied 2-2. So that right there is the end of the video, and to quote Rudy T, never underestimate the heart of a champion. That goes for Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Jokic, Mike Malone, MPJ, and the entire Nuggets organization. So, as always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.